Hello, this is Barnaby from Waterloo AM. I'm here with Ash, the captain of the Warwick University Rugby League team. Going to be having a little chat with him about Varsity, about the Rugby League team more generally, and sort of a prospect for the upcoming game against Coventry, which obviously is at the end of this month. Hi Ash, thanks for joining us.
No, thanks for having me.
All right, so you've been on the team since your first year.
Yep.
So how did you sort of end up joining Rugby League, and how did you sort of come end up being on the team in this capacity?
Yeah, so I played rugby union in school for a few years, and when I came to university, obviously had the option of, between union and league, but I was kind of drawn towards league just because it seemed a lot more fluid, and I know I'd heard about the club before coming to uni. And the social aspect really appealed to me. So yeah, no, I'd played rugby before, got into it at uni, was recommended it by a few people before coming, and then yeah, so I spent 2 years. My first year, my second year, played rugby league. I was vice president last year, and then I took over as captain this year, and it's been a really strong season so far. So, just hoping to carry that on into varsity, and preparations well underway for that.
Excellent. So, as someone who has played league union in the past and has now moved to playing rugby league,
Yep.
You might be in a sort of quite a unique position to be able to kind of explain the key differences. Obviously, rugby league is very popular in certain parts of the country, but maybe union is arguably the more kind of established one. You know, you watch the Six Nations a lot on TV, stuff like that. While England games are shown, it's more kind of on Sky, and you kind of have to really go looking for it.
Yeah. So there are a few key differences between rugby league and union. I mean, I could talk for hours about the differences. I'd say the main differences are that rugby league is very popular up north, whereas union's has a big southern following, and that lends itself to its popularity at university. Especially Warwick, a lot of the students are from the south, so there's a natural tendency to play union. But I'm from the north. I play league. I'd say the main differences are in union you have 15 players on a pitch. In league you've got 13. The differences between union and league are a bit more in terms of the attacking. So in league you have 6 tackles to get the ball from wherever you play it to score a try, and it's a lot more fluid style of play. It's a lot more about free play. We don't have scrums, we don't have lineouts, we don't have mauls, so that just lends itself to a more attacking style of play. And you have 6 tackles to get the ball into the opposition's try line, and yeah, it's just more. I'd say it's a more fluid game, and it definitely lends itself towards being a bit more hands free. There's not as much strategy. It's just more about running the ball and making big hits.
Okay, so that's interesting because there's a stereotype which I understand is probably quite unjustified, that rugby league is the more like violent form of rugby. And but you've been telling me that there's no rucks, there's no scrums, there's no lineouts, which are generally seen as the more kind of dangerous parts of the game. So why do you think rugby league has kind of had this stereotype attached to it, that it's more violent?
I guess it comes from, rugby league, you have 6 tackles to get from where you're playing the ball to the opposition's try line, and I guess it lends itself to more, because there's no scrums and there's no lineouts, there's much more time with the ball in hand. So in rugby league especially, there's a tendency for the main forward pack to try and attack the opposition by running hard into the opposition, and when you combine hard running, free attacking play, and only having 6 tackles to score, that just makes for a very aggressive, controlled aggression on the pitch, and then therefore you get the collision between people trying to attack as hard as they can in 6 tackles and defenders trying to make big tackles up high. So it just lends itself to a very collision orientated.
So it's the kind of the fact that you only have these 6 tackles, and so you've got to make each one count. Whereas in union, it's more kind of a slow burn.
Exactly, it's more strategic.
You could be camped on someone's 22 for 10, 15 minutes in a game of union if it gets that bad.
Yeah, exactly. We've only got 6 tackles, so we need to gain as many yards as possible, and that's why you'll see big props running it hard through the line, and that's kind of my job as well. As I'm a prop, so my job is to make yards and get the team forward.
Right, brilliant. So moving back towards the Warwick team.
Yeah.
So what's the atmosphere amongst the team? Is there a good like social aspect to everything? Do you guys? Yeah.
We have a very inclusive atmosphere, and that comes from only being compared to some of the bigger clubs on campus. We are quite a small club. We have around 50 to 60 members. Around 40 of those play actively. We have a first team and a development team. So, I mean, it's a very inclusive atmosphere, very friendly. We welcome anyone regardless of playing experience, and that's what I think attracts a lot of members to the club. The social atmosphere is really good. Obviously, we circle on Wednesdays, and we also have joint circles with aerobics. So obviously that's really exciting whenever we team up with the girls. It's usually some form of charity event, which is another side of the club that is really prospering. We did November just a couple of months ago, and we regularly raise money for different sorts of charities. And everyone gets into the spirit, fancy dress and stuff like that. So a very social atmosphere, but a small club. So I mean, it's great for anyone that wants to play rugby at uni, but maybe is a bit intimidated by the size of a bigger club and wants a more friendly atmosphere.
Okay, brilliant. So obviously you've got the game against Coventry coming up at the end of the month.
Yeah.
What's the kind of standard week if you're on the first team of the rugby league? What's the training schedule like?
Yeah, sure. So we have 2 training sessions a week, Mondays and Fridays for an hour and a half. So that's 3 hours of training, and that's with our coach Troy, who's an ex-Australian international. So he brings a lot of experience. He also coaches semi-professionally, so he's a great guy to have on board. Before games on a Wednesday, we also have training on a Tuesday for an hour, just to go through our plays, our strategy for the game ahead, and then obviously we play our fixtures on the Wednesday afternoon, either at Cryfield or if it's an away match, away at the other team's pitches. So Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and a game on a Wednesday. And we also do like development sessions and kind of like conditioning sessions on a Saturday sometimes, but they're rare because we have a lot of fixtures usually in the season.
So what universities do you tend to play in away games? What other universities have a sort of strong rugby league?
Yeah, so we're in the Bucks Midlands League, so we play Birmingham, Oxford Brookes, Cambridge and Northampton, so some really good opposition. This year in particular we've done really well in our league. We're top at the minute, we're going for promotion, so we're sitting at first in the league and we're 1 win away from promotion to Midlands 1A. So it's been a really positive start to the season, and you know, facing good opposition like Cambridge and Birmingham, it gives a lot of valuable experience for the new lads and for current players, and it sets us up nicely going into Varsity as well. Okay,
and going to end with that question. So, you're playing Coventry in Varsity. What are your prospects looking like for this year?
This year we've had some really exciting new players come along. In particular, people like George Edge, who plays at scrum half for us, Tarek and Dan Barber. These are a few new guys that have come on board that really add to the squad. And we've also got some lads who have come to uni not knowing how to play rugby before, but they've really developed. So that just gives us a real depth of squad to pick from for team selection for Varsity. In terms of our prospects, I think we are the underdogs. We are facing Coventry, who are in the league above. And it's going to be a very tough match, but I'm confident based on our previous form in the league. I mean, sitting top of the league and sitting undefeated for a few matches. We're going in with good form, with a strong depth of squad, and we are the underdogs. But the underdogs sometimes pull it off. So we'll see about that.
Well, wishing you the best of luck. What day is your game on? Do you know?
So it's Wednesday, the 22nd of February, 2 p.m. and it'll be played at Westwood Heath, which is about 5 minutes from Target, so not too far if anyone wants to come and watch.
Brilliant. Thanks very much for joining us, Ash. And again, wishing you the best of luck.
Sweet. Thank you, Barnaby.